Hello students, welcome to CR Digital Classes. I'm Hasham Ali Khan. So this classes will provide you a number of videos on different subjects. By watching these videos, definitely you can get a lot of confidence in writing the examination and expect good results. So watch all the videos with full concentration. Enjoy the learning process. Now, presently I'm discussing about consignment. Very important topic from examination point of view. In consignment, so many videos I have provided on different aspects. But in this video, I'm going to explain you about the valuation of unsold stock. An important entry to be passed in the books of consignor for unsold stock. There is no entry for unsold stock in the books of consignee, only consignor. So we must know how to calculate the value of unsold stock. So before starting the problem on calculating unsold stock, I'll explain you how to calculate. What is the accounting procedure of calculating the value of unsold stock? The valuation of consignment stock involves determining the value of unsold goods remaining with the consignee at the end of the accounting period. The process will be based on normal accounting principle. Normally, the accounting principle is the stock will be valued at the lower of cost price or net realizable value. That is internationally recognized method of calculating the value of unsold stock. And here also same procedure will adopt. Now, key aspect of valuation. First of all, the cost price. The cost price of the goods unsold, it will include the actual cost price and also the direct expenses incurred in taking the goods to the point of the consignee. The cost price include all expenditure incurred by the consignor to bring the goods to the saleable condition at the place of the consignee. Now, these costs referred to as non-recurring expenses. Now you remember non-recurring expenses. These are called direct expenses. These are not regular, only one time expenditure will be incurred. Example I'll give you: when goods are sent by consignor to consignee, the transportation expenditure will be incurred only once. That is called non-recurring expenses. That should be included in the cost, in the value of unsold stock. So here it includes the freight. Freight means transportation charges, then insurance on goods sent. Only once it will be paid. Then export and import duties, loading and unloading charges, any other cost necessary to send the goods to the consignee. These are the examples of non-recurring expenses or direct expenses, and it should be a part of the value of unsold stock. Now, these non-recurring expenses are incurred either by the consignor or consignee. Sometimes consignee will also incur these expenses. So both the direct expense incurred by consignor and consignee should be considered in calculating the value of unsold stock. Now, market price. I told you that accounting principle is whether the cost price or net realizable value, whichever is less should be taken. So what is net realizable value? The market price. The market price also referred to as net realizable value. Remember, NRV, and which is calculated estimated selling price of the goods in the normal course of business, less any cost associated with completing the sale. That means what is the market price and what are the costs incurred to sell the goods. That is called net realizable value. For example, the market value of goods is 1 lakh. But to sell the goods at 1 lakh, we have to incur 10,000 rupees selling expenses. So deduct selling expenses. 1 lakh minus 10,000, 90,000 is the net realizable value, such as selling expenses, commission payable to consignee, other expenses to be incurred, right? Now, exclusion from stock valuation. While calculating the value of stock, we should exclude few expenses. These are called recurring expenses or indirect expenses. So exclusion: Any recurring expenses, remember this point, recurring expenses incurred after the goods reach the consignee's location, such as go down rent. Why go down rent is recurring? Because rent is payable every month. Every month rent is payable. It's a recurring, continuous expenditure. Establishment expenses and selling expenses, including go down insurance, are not considered when valuing consignment stock. These recurring expenses, example, go down rent, establishment expense, go down insurance, these are recurring, indirect, should not be included in the calculation of unsold stock. Formula for valuing unsold stock: if there are unsold stock at the consignee's place, the cost of those goods are calculated as follows. Now see carefully how to calculate cost price of goods sent. Add consignor's expenses, freight, loading charges, insurance, etc. This freight, loading charges, insurance, these are the expenditure incurred by the consignor. And one more thing you remember, normally consignor expenses are non-recurring only. Consignee's expenses may be recurring and it may be non-recurring. Some expenditure he will incur recurring and some non-recurring. Now add consignee's expenses. Consignee has spent the amount cartage or unloading charges. So these are also direct expenses incurred by consignee. Now total cost. Alternatively, a more detailed approach can be followed by determining the cost of unsold proportionate expense incurred. Now here it is given. Briefly, how to calculate the value of unsold stock. Cost price of goods unsold. That easily we can find out. It will be given in the problem. What is the cost price? To the cost price, we add proportionate non-recurring expenses. Proportionate. For example, the total non-recurring expenses are 1 lakh, but 1/4 of the goods are remaining unsold. Only 1/4. So total expenses 1/4 we will take, right? That's why we call it as proportionate non-recurring expenses incurred by consignor and incurred by consignee. Both will be added, right? Special case, stock in transit. If part of the goods is still in transit at the end of the accounting period, the goods have not reached the location of the consignee, still it is on the way, in transit. In that case also we have to find out the value of goods in transit. In that case, only direct expense incurred by the consignor should be included. The consignee's direct or indirect should not be included if the goods are on the way, in transit. Now final valuation. After computing both the cost price and market price, NRV, the lower value of the final value should be compared. What is the cost price of the unsold goods and what is the market NRV, net realizable value of that unsold goods? Whichever is lower, that should be taken as the final value of unsold stock. By following this principle, the valuation of consignment stock ensures a conservative estimate. This principle, that stock should be valued at lower of cost price or market price, net realizable value, that principle we will apply in order to comply with the conservative principles. Conservative principle means the profit should not be overstated by increasing the value of unsold stock. That's it. Now, example problem. So far, I have explained you about how to calculate the value of unsold stock. Now, I am taking up one example, one examination problem. In short, they have asked you to calculate the value of unsold stock. That valuation I am going to explain you in this examination problem. Now, see carefully. Ramu consigned goods, consigned costing 26,000 to Crayon. So Ramu is the consignor and Crayon is the consignee. So 26,000 worth of goods. The recurring and non-recurring expenses on the same amounted to 5,000 and 4,000 respectively. So remember, first one is recurring, second one is non-recurring. So this 5,000 is the recurring expense, right? 5,000 is the recurring expense. This 5,000 is the recurring, and non-recurring is 4,000. Kiran sold 3/4 of the goods for 35,000. Out of the total goods, 3/4 of the goods are sold. So what does it mean? 1/4 is remaining unsold. So we have to find out 1/4 of the goods. Ascertain the value of unsold stock. It's so simple. So we should include the cost price of 1/4 of the goods unsold. So here I am going to write valuation of unsold stock. So in this valuation, we consider the cost price of unsold stock. So here we take cost price of unsold stock. So it comes to 1/4, because 1/4 is unsold, 3/4 is sold. So what is the total cost of goods sent? 26,000. The total cost price is 26,000. Now you can see here 26,000 divided by 4. It comes to 6,500. What is the 6,500? Cost price of unsold goods. To this we add proportionate non-recurring expenses. Proportionate non-recurring expenses. So first of all, what is the total non-recurring expenses in the problem? It is given here. The recurring and non-recurring expenses on the same amounted to 5,000 and 4,000. First one is recurring, second one is non-recurring. 4,000 is non-recurring. So 1/4 of 4,000, it comes to 1,000. Proportionate in the sense only related to unsold. Total non-recurring is 4,000, but 1/4 of the goods are remaining unsold. So 1,000. So total comes to 7,500. This 7,500 is the value of unsold stock. Finished. So in this class, I have explained you about the procedure or method of calculating the value of unsold stock, and also one problem which had been asked in previous examination, how to calculate the value of unsold stock. After completing the answer, you should give a note that recurring expenses should not be considered while calculating the value of unsold stock. Hope the concept is clear. So in the coming classes, I will explain you what are the journal entries to be passed in the books of consignor, consignee, and also the ledger accounts. So keep watching all the videos to get the complete command. I wish you all the best on behalf of CR Publications.